back to another reasoning. I'm your host Jasper. If this is your first time on the channel, don't forget to drop down below, hit that like button, that notification bell, and that subscribe button to stick with us for future reasonings and uploads. And if you guys haven't seen, right now I'm recording this audio with the new AirPod Pros 3. If you didn't see our last video, go check out the video on our AirPod Pro 3 where we were filming it using the iPhone Air camera. So you're able to check out that video and see how you like that quality. Alright, you guys, jumping right into it. Here is the iPhone Air. And honestly, you guys, I've been using this for about a week now. I just picked it up last weekend, and I've been using it for a full 7 days now. And I am just here to tell you a little bit about my user experience. I can't lie. I love this thing, and that might be spoiling it a little bit and giving it away. I still have a lot of hidden features to talk about, and it's not just about the features of this phone, it's user features and how my personal experience has been using this. There's been a lot of online comments and a lot of online talk about tech tubers just posting about the iPhone Air and not actually considering the user perspective and just trying to pitch a new product or just trying to talk about innovation and leaving the door open for future generations of iPhone models. That's not me. I will say I do use two phones. This is my personal phone, and for my work phone I do use the S25 Edge. And I will just say right now, if you guys are interested in seeing a comparison between the two in the future, just let me know in the comment section, and that's something that I can get going. But the 25 Edge was mostly just a work device that was basically just given to me to use. This is my personal device that I chose to go out and seek out the new Apple Air. And I heard rumors about this phone leaking. I was thinking about it. Honestly, before I even knew that this phone was leaked, I just knew that this year for the 17, I didn't want to go with the Pro. I had the 13 Pro, I had the 15 Pro Max, and I just knew that for my next phone, I did not want to go with the Pro model because I was not using the features of the Pro model every single year and every iteration, and there was no need for me to go for another Pro. I will say that there are some features that are interesting in the Pro models that I might be getting me in the future, and if you want to know what those are, I can definitely let you know about that. Just let me know in the comments, and I can definitely give a follow-up and let you know what some features that I would be looking for in a Pro phone. But right now, the simplicity, the content creation, the content consumption, and just crushing the quality and just crushing the just tech consumption on a daily basis, I really don't think you can get anything better than this Air. So I'm just gonna go over a little bit about it. I'm not gonna get into the details like there's a million YouTube videos and reviews online that I'm sure everybody has watched. This is definitely 7 days plus into it, the last day of Techtember, and I just wanted to get this up there, but I wanted my full user experience before I actually said anything about the device. So just a couple things. Obviously, thinner than a number 2 pencil. I want to say it was 5.5 millimeters thin at the thinnest part. It has a 3D printed USB port, and that's the only way that we're going to get that so small. You can see this bit is basically the width of the USB port, and that's an Easter egg for something that I have to say later on in this video as well, to talk about that USB port and how I think it's going to be innovated in the future. It only has one speaker. It just comes out right at the top of the camera, and there's no bottom speakers, so it's no stereo speakers. Those are just microphones, so it's going to impact the bass. It's missing the millimeter wave antenna at the top here, and honestly, I think that that has given me a problem. I know it has the new C1X modem chip in here, but that's just going to help you with connecting to your cellular service for voice calling and for text messaging. I don't think that helps too much with the internet connectivity. Drop down in the comment section, and I guess I can look some information on the C1X chip, but I really think that that 5 millimeter wave missing was something that I personally experienced lacking on this phone. I was in the middle of a grocery store. I was shopping with my family. I was in a hurry, and I was just trying to make sure that I had enough money in my checking account, because I don't like to keep a lot in there. I just transfer it from my savings when I need to make a purchase. And I was having trouble in getting onto my online banking using this Apple iPhone Air that did not have a millimeter wave cutout at the top. Most people say that there's no real use case for those millimeter wave antennas, but honestly, I really feel that if I did have that millimeter wave antenna, because my cell phone service and carrier does support 5G millimeter wave, and in my area we do have 5 millimeter wave. I think that if I had that, that would have definitely helped a lot better in that situation, and I wouldn't have felt like I would have needed to do something else, because in that pinch situation, I actually did switch to the S25, and I had the ability to use my full banking features in the middle of the store, and it was just like in this big shopping complex. So I don't know if that was just me or not, but I definitely had that issue, and the S25 did not have that issue in the exact same location trying to do the exact same thing. And an iOS update did just come out, and I'm going to touch on that later. Potentially that fixed the feature that I just had happen on this as well, but we'll see. So obviously we have the new camera plateau as well, and that's where all the computer components are going to be. It's very, very round. It's very, very sleek. It feels so good in the hands. Honestly, the S25 Edge, even though it's so thin, it still feels like a brick because it's got round, squared off edges, whereas this is very round, very sleek, and very much of a pleasure to hold. It also has that M1 chip. I know you guys have been looking into all those features, so I got the A19 Pro, you guys know that. Honestly though, something about that, I did notice right here beneath this camera, the plateau, right here, where you just like kind of like want to naturally rest your index finger when you're holding the device up like that. Naturally, when you're resting your finger here, you're gonna feel heat. I was watching some live streamers that were going on the internet, and when you're holding it and you're watching a live stream broadcast, this gets hot. It gets hot. It really does. Not enough to like burn or anything like that, but I definitely noticed that when I was watching live streams, it was heating up actively, and there was no heat warning, nothing like that, and I was using the MagSafe charger at the same time. So I had the MagSafe on here, and it was charging while I was watching the live stream, and I noticed that heat was starting to just kind of come up in there. I tried to take an ultra wide photo, and honestly, I just mentioned that I also filmed the iPod or the AirPod Pro 3s on this Air, and I didn't have a wide angle lens, which I usually use to get these types of shots, and I really noticed that right off the rip. I tried to take a photo of a landscape outside. I noticed I didn't have the wide angle lens, so I have had some experiences already where it has affected me. I kind of just worked around it. I moved the subject further. I got further from the subject. I made it work. Just go back to like the like the bare bones of how you need to take camera shots and be the photographer to get in the position that you need to, rather than just the technology. So a little bit of it takes off the crutches a little bit, and it makes it on your own experience, to your own user experience, to get the shot and make the shot work out that you need. So that's something that's pretty interesting. It really is. The selfie camera though is really, really good, and it's something that's brand new across the lineup of the new 17s. The selfie camera, super, super clear, super, super crisp, and something that I really, really liked. And it's way better from the phone that I came from, which was the 15 Pro Max. The front-facing camera looks so much better, and I am daily driving this Air. As I said, this is my personal phone, and I'm noticing some limitations in it, just from the camera, the ultra wide that we're talking about, looking and trying to like use my banking information inside of a dense concrete building and just having some issues. But the other areas where this is better, I will say, I feel that the dust and water resistance, which has just been upgraded, and since that has that ceramic shield on there as well, it's also going to help a little bit with that durability and that resistance. That has been a really good feature, because I've just been like using this and throwing it right in my cup holder of the car, and it's been bouncing around. I've been caseless this entire time. I'm going to be caseless in the future, and my keys have been hitting it, all kinds of stuff. I don't have any scratches on my device yet, And you can see just like that, this is the light gold edition that I was really wanting, just the 256. All of my iPhone Pro Maxes before have been 1 TB, and I guess I'll just throw it away, a little Easter egg for that I mentioned earlier about a Pro feature that I've been waiting for. I've honestly been waiting for a Pro phone with 2 TB, and now we have Pro phones with 2 TB, and I did not get it. Instead of that Pro phone with 2 TB that I've literally been waiting for, I instead got a base Air, and I've just put everything in the cloud, and this is my first test of using just the base Air and seeing how it actually functions just with Apple's technology. So I'm still going with that. It's pretty good though. I will say I've been using my phone as a car key on a daily basis as well, and it's been really good with my interaction with the Bluetooth, the new Bluetooth chip and everything. That's really helping to stay connected. The ceramic shield, obviously, like I mentioned, has been really great. It's been jostled around. I've been having it in my pocket with keys, pocket knives, everything else. It's been really great. The battery life is limited, and if you're someone who's never around a charger, you're gonna notice the power loss though. There's a lot of battery optimization features that are built in to the Air that you can toggle on for the user experience, and these features are built in to run automatically. So when they are all toggled on, you are going to get an optimized battery experience. I've heard videos and I've seen people say that they're already trying to return their Airs. I think the Air is going to be a device that grows and it learns you. Like, you're gonna have to literally use this Air, use this product for a length of time. It's gonna learn your user cycles, like how you as a user consume content, how you use a phone, and it's gonna adapt over time to you specifically. So I think you're gonna get some better battery life later on down the road than you might experience during the first week, which is pretty something interesting, and it's not standard at all. It's completely different from a normal phone that it learns over time. It's honestly like much more like a Tesla, where it's just gonna get better continuously, is how I feel. I'm not sure what the battery status of my 15 Pro Max is. I can definitely check and I'll let you guys know in a future video if you guys are interested. But honestly, I'm pretty sure my 15 Pro Max, it's pretty good still that I've been using. The power is good battery health. I definitely have upwards of 90% battery health remaining. So I've been pretty good, pretty gentle on my phones, and I really think that that's going to continue with this Air. But I definitely know that if you're power cycling regularly and if you're charging up to 100%, you don't have any of those optimization features, you can probably damage the battery over time, and you might experience worse usage as the time goes on. The MagSafe battery, I guess I can just pull that out real fast. I was really surprised to see that this MagSafe battery, it basically only charges the phone if it's dead up to 65%, even if it's 100% charged in the MagSafe. And the reason for that is just power loss. This has the exact same size battery as that you would find in the Air, and having them be the exact same size, you would think that you would just go from 100 over here to 100 in here, but the power loss that you experience with wireless charging makes it so that only 65% transfers over, and you only get 65% back to the battery. And honestly, I've been seeing you be able to get at least a full 60%, 65%, even if you're at 0. And if you start with about 100% on your phone, you're still getting that 165% total, and that is definitely have been getting me at least a day to a day and a half worth of use over the past week. And that's honestly not the worst. I've been charging the MagSafe battery pack more than I've been charging the phone. You just charge up the MagSafe battery pack, you just throw it on the Air, and then it just charges it up for you, right? And once that charging cycle completes, and you saw that bottom, I'll do it one more time so you can see the animation that pops up when you attach the MagSafe. Whenever this bottom ring goes all the way out, I find myself charging this MagSafe, leaving the Air off of the charger, and just going and plugging this in somewhere else. And then once that MagSafe charger has finished, I just throw it back on the Air if the Air is low battery again. So I've honestly found myself charging the MagSafe charger more often than I'm charging the Air, and I've seen the MagSafe charger charge a little bit quicker than the Air as well. So that's something interesting too when people are talking about the charging speeds of this. I really think that MagSafe charger is a really clutch item that people are really sleeping on and overlooking for sure. Honestly though, the design wise was one of the best iPhones I've ever felt in my hand. I really like going into the shops and the iPhone stores and testing out and feeling like the new phones every year, even though if I'm not upgrading or anything like that. And this is one of the best feeling iPhones that I have ever felt in my entire life. It's really cool. I love how thin and how narrow the sides are. It feels great in hand. I hear some people saying that they're accidentally pressing the camera button, but I don't get that. Like whenever I grab my phone, my thumbs land right in the middle of the two buttons. So for me specifically, I'm never accidentally activating the camera or anything like that. I'm always just like just holding it and just doing great. It's been phenomenal. I almost lost it one time when I was trying to what was I trying to do? So I think I was like taking a video, and I was trying to like with one hand trying to like take a video, so I was like filming like this, and then I tried to like do that one to like hit the back button. So I was like this, and then I drop it down to try to hit that back button, and I almost lost the phone at that point. But other than just like literally manipulating the phone in a peculiar fashion like that, where you're just like record, and then when you're done recording and you want to go back to the gallery, you gotta go up. That's the only instance that I almost dropped this phone. Other than that, it's been super solid, and I've really been loving the feel of it. The shock of the factor of the weight is amazing, and honestly, I think it's the perfect mid-tier iPhone that allowed Apple to go all in on the Pro phones, which you've heard a lot of people saying, but I really think it's true, and this is honestly what I've been waiting for. A couple of the color options that I'm sure you guys have already seen online, and that's the last time I'll say that because there's been so many videos that everybody's been watching, and I just wanted to get mine out here right now because I wanted to have that full user experience again and not just be a tech review. I wanted to actually like have a user experience review before I put anything out there. So I'll stop saying that you've seen all these videos already, but going over and reiterating, colors comes in space black, comes in sky blue, comes in light gold, which I think is clutch because I also have the light gold on the 13 Pro. You can see it the best right there. That's so you can see the back is truly that light gold white, and then the sidebars are actually kind of a darker yellow gold, but then when you start to turn it, it just disappears and you can't even see it anymore. It just has to hit that one light shot, like bam, right there, and then you can just see that camera, the rings around the camera are light gold. The ceramic shield is just a dust gold basically, and then this one's another high polished relief gold. It's just really beautiful, and it looks like a piece of jewelry, and it feels even better. And then the last color they have is cloud white, which was definitely going to be my second pick if I wasn't able to get this light gold. A lot of online reviews are definitely saying that it feels very refined and it feels like a polished work of art, and it's $1,000 smartphone. It's nearly $200 more than the 17, but the 17 has a lot more hardware, right? It's got more cameras, it's just got more hardware, got more battery space. So if you're gonna go for the Air, it definitely is kind of more of a statement than anything else. It's definitely minimalist. I've definitely seen about like 6 hours and 20 minutes of full throttle before any type of ramping happens, and it starts to kind of like kill down on the battery. And the 16 Pro was getting about like 6 hours and 30 minutes before it would just completely conk out as well. So the difference between the Air and the 16 Pro is only about 10-20 minutes of battery on time when you're just like full throttle and ramping it up, and that's not too bad. This is definitely a phone that loves to disappear into your pocket, and you kind of have to like feel around for it and like feel which pocket did you put it in. But I just always throw it in my back pocket, so you're good to go. But it's really something that truly you have to kind of like pat around for and feel if you still brought your phone with you, which is kind of funny. A lot of comments that are being said is excited about the iPhone again, which I also feel that this new design kind of like re-inspired or like invigorated an experience that we have been missing with the Apple products for such a long time, and we've just kind of been seeing it as like a year over year same type of thing. But this is truly a different experience, and an experience that Apple hasn't previously given us, and I think it's a new step in the right direction. definitely, if you're a person who's interested in the iPhone Air, I think that you already know that you're an Air person. And this is kind of a little bit of a trigger topic, but it's definitely a big deal. People have been talking about the value of this phone. It's $1,000, and you're not getting more than one camera. You're just not getting the same size battery life. You're kind of giving up a little bit of bang for your buck. You can say that you might just get back on the 17, depending on your user experience. And there's been a trend going around saying, if you're broke, don't upgrade. And if you're getting a carrier trade-in deal, consider the total expense of the plan over the financing period. I personally have a discounted service plan, and it makes sense for me when I was able to trade in my old phone on this device and get a significant amount back. And it made sense to me to upgrade at this time, get the phone that I was really interested in, and have a significant deal coming through from that trade-in value. So personally, I think that it was the right decision for me, but consider that again. If you're not in a position to upgrade, don't necessarily upgrade. And if you are upgrading on a promotion with a service provider or anything like that, do consider the total cost over time with the service provider, because nothing in this world is free, right? Some people have been calling this phone the 16E Max, which I think is just hilarious to call this the 16E Max, because it is very reminiscent of the 16E, but Max before would just mean screen size, like plus, more or less. But this would be max as in like maxed out specifications. Like this is basically a pro phone. It really is a pro phone in a 16E looking body, which is hilarious. So to call this a 16E Max is very funny to me, because honestly, that's a very close comparison. I talked about no ultra wide camera being featured on here, which honestly has made me really use the panoramic camera mode more on here, and it kind of makes the old new again, which is very funny and reminiscent. Just like I was saying earlier with that no ultra wide, you either got to back up or switch to panoramic mode, and you really got to like take in your photographic skills to get what you want out of this phone in the way that you want it, and it's not crutched at all. I really like the center stage camera and the automatic adjustment for the orientation lock, and I honestly don't know if that's something that I'm ever going to be able to go back from, to not have that center stage camera on there. I love that center stage camera, and when I'm on any type of calls or just doing the front facing camera, it's perfect that it likes to just auto adjust like that, and it's just something that I'm really loving. And just again, a little bit about that, a little bit more of a trigger, but still, when you consider the price of these phones, people are not considering the full cost of the device, even with the trade-in. And it's a little bit funny because I don't know what's going on lately, but people are considering that these phones are aspects of a status symbol. Like when you got the iPhone Air, you're going for a minimalist approach. You're saying people, I don't need the maximum battery life. I don't necessarily care about having the best battery life. I love style over function. I love fashion and that sleek design over the utilitarian aspect, which is one of the first times I've ever gone for that in my life. I'm typically more of the utilitarian driver, but with this one, I just completely went for it and just put that fashion first, and I really have no regrets. But even if people are considering this as a status symbol, I don't get why people are then trying to follow it up with trying to get it for free, like for completely free, as if it's like a socialist program that's just getting handed out an iPhone to you. Obviously, you're going to have to pay for it some way. You're either going to have to like walk into an Apple store and you have to pay cash for it. You're either going to have to get a promotion through your service provider and pay for your service plan through that provider. That service plan obviously has a lot of value built into it outside of the phone, but at this point people feel that like service providers should just be giving you the service for free, and the phone is what's the true value. So they should just like give you the service for free, not even have to factor that in, and then you just get the best deal off of the iPhone that you can possibly get. If also free, that'd be great. So you're just trying to like not pay for the correct promotion to get the phone that you want, but you also don't want to pay for the phone that you want. However, you're acknowledging both as a status symbol, and that's just almost trying to get like the status symbol for nothing, and that's just, it takes it away from being a status symbol, I would feel. Even though I don't necessarily feel that it's a status symbol, for me it's the minimalist experience, or the minimalist vibe, but other people really do think that this is just like an OP device. And it's interesting that you don't want to like match that OP vibe with it. You just kind of like want to try to get it for as cheaply as possible and as free as possible, and not even consider the value matching from the network provider to the manufacturer. So that was just really, really interesting. One of the last things that I want to mention, an iOS update just came out for 26.0.1, and that honestly fixes a bug that I've been experiencing and I didn't even know that I was experiencing on this Air, where my AirPod Pro 3s would be disconnecting when I'm trying to like watch videos, do anything like that. They would be disconnecting. And hopefully, what I was mentioning earlier with that disconnection inside the store when I wasn't able to utilize my banking information, I'm hoping that this update is also going to affect that, so I will be able to reliably connect in all safe environments like that. It's been really, really interesting, and I've mentioned this again, that with the combination of the MagSafe charger, which I'm just going to bring back out again, with the combination of this MagSafe charger and the iPhone Air, I've been getting, on average, about 14 to 20 hours worth of utilization when I combine both of these two batteries together. I've been getting about 8 hours out of the battery, and I've been getting about 8 hours out of the iPhone Air as well when it's on that full 100% charge and I'm just giving my day going. And I watch a lot of YouTube video hours each day. Like, I would probably venture to say probably like 4 hours. And out of that 4 hours, or out of that 8 hours, 4 of them streaming, the other 4, it's still there and it's just rocking with me throughout my day, which has been very, very cool. And speaking of that charging port, something that I was mentioning earlier that I think is really, really interesting, I think the future of Apple is to get rid of this USB-C port altogether. I really do. I really think that Apple is going to get rid of this USB-C port altogether, because one of the biggest external limitations of this slimness is having to have the charging port. And since they got rid of the SIM card on all of the Air models, I can see them attacking the charging port next and having the Air line go 100% portless, and maybe even having like haptic sensors like on the side. So instead of having like the camera buttons, like the camera button or the action button on the side, just having haptic sensors that match all of the physical buttons that would remain on the Pro models, like the utilitarian models, but just take away those cameras and action buttons. I can really see that happening in the future. But yeah, you guys, I just wanted to quickly just jump on here and just show you guys the new iPhone Air. Again, if this is your first time on the channel, don't forget to drop down below, hit that like button, that notification bell, and that subscribe button to stick with us for future reasonings and uploads. And also go back and check out that AirPod Pro 3 video that we put up on the channel filming using the iPhone Air, so you can check out that air quality of the camera. Alright, you guys, take it easy. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.